Lone Survivor, starring Mark Wahlberg, was one of the most popular movies of 2013. It tells the true story of Navy SEAL Marcus Luttrell, who was wounded in a firefight with the Taliban near the border of Pakistan. For those who haven't seen the movie, in it, Luttrell's company is on a mission in Afghanistan when they're spotted by a couple of goat herders. They make the decision to let these civilians go rather than killing them, but the goat herders inform the local Taliban forces of the American soldiers' presence, and they end up getting attacked. Luttrell's entire company is killed except for himself, who has a badly broken back and wounded leg. At this point, he was taken in by a local man named Mohammed Gulab, who helped to hide him from the Taliban until the US military could come rescue him. Luttrell's story quickly became a best-selling book in America. However, this put Mohammed Gulab's life at risk with the Taliban, who were now angry with him for sheltering an American. There were multiple attempts made on Gulab's life, and he began to consider moving to America. In 2012, his nephew was shot in the head in an attack that was intended for him, and at this point, he gets in contact with Marcus Luttrell and ends up going to America. The Lone Survivor movie was set to come out soon, and Gulab and Luttrell spent most of their time together promoting it, doing red carpet events and whatnot. Luttrell even offered to help get Gulab a green card so he could stay in America permanently, which Gulab was hesitant to accept because he still wanted to return home at some point. At this point, Gulab had never read the Lone Survivor book because he didn't speak English. But during his time in America, a translator was able to brief him on the specifics of the book. And he said, hey, a few of the things in this book didn't happen like that in real life. First of all, the American soldiers didn't let the goat herders go. They were attacked by the Taliban while still deciding what to do with them. Secondly, Gulab said there's no evidence that 35 to 50 Taliban soldiers were killed by the Americans as Luttrell had claimed. In fact, no Taliban bodies had been found, and this was confirmed by Andrew McManus, a former Marine colonel who helped search the area after the battle. Additionally, Luttrell was fully stocked when Gulab found him, having 11 fully loaded magazines, which suggests that he didn't fire as many shots as he said in the book. Luttrell also claimed that he was on a mission to hunt an international terrorist with close connections to Osama bin Laden, when in fact the group they were hunting had no direct connections to bin Laden and were just a small militia with some ties to the Taliban. Luttrell also estimated that there were 80 to 200 Taliban fighters who attacked him and his company, whereas Gulab said it was closer to 8 or 10. Video evidence of the event seems to confirm Gulab's side of the story, as only 7 Shia militants are pictured. Gulab brought up these issues to Luttrell right before they were supposed to go on 60 Minutes to do an interview, and Luttrell became angry with him. Gulab was then instructed by a translator to go along with whatever story that Luttrell gave in the interview. In that 60 Minutes interview, Luttrell would change his story slightly from the one in the book, claiming that there were only 30 to 40 militants rather than 80 to 200. After the movie's promotion was finished, Gulab was deported back to Afghanistan, with the movie now in theaters putting an even bigger target on his head with the Taliban. The green card that Luttrell had promised him never materializing. Since that time, Gulab has been on the run, moving from place to place in order to avoid the attacks on his life. Recently, he was finally able to obtain a visa to the United States, and he now lives in Fort Worth, Texas. Marcus Luttrell has ignored all of his efforts to contact him. Gulab is still incredibly bitter towards Luttrell and says, I'll never regret saving Marcus, but I regret what I did to help the movie. I pray that one day Marcus tells America the truth. So yeah, an interesting true story behind a war hero manufactured by Hollywood. These pro-war propaganda movies like Lone Survivor and American Sniper rarely ever tell the full truth, and their main purpose is to lionize and promote the US military. And in this case, it allowed Marcus Luttrell to rake in millions of dollars off of his story, while the man who saved him had his life thrown into chaos.